Hello, my name is Maria Alejandra Rojas Oliveros and I am going to explain the internationalization process of Nutresa, which is the leading company in processed foods in Colombia and one of the most important players in the sector in Latin America. It was founded in 1920 and it currently houses about 45,000 employees and operates through 8 business units that are meat, crackers, chocolates, Luchetti Tres Montes, coffee, consumer food, ice cream, and pasta. Nutresa has a differentiated business model on its people because they are talented, innovative, committed, and responsible. And they all contribute to a sustainable development, and their brand's leaders are recognized and loved worldwide. The internationalization strategy of this company is at the beginning it was based on alliances and the creation of marketing companies, but then in the search for greater effectiveness and more ambitious objectives, they created a plan in order to create a to internationalize just in through the organic growth. The culture and business of this company is based on three aspects that differentiates them from other companies. The first one is their people, because for they, human talent is one of the most valuable assets, and they care about skill development, recognition, work-life balance, and working and they care about building a leadership brand. They were also recognized as a family friendly company. The second one are the brands, which are leaders in the markets in which they are present. They are also recognized, loved, and they are based on nutrition, reliable products, also in sustainable development, and an excellent price value ratio. And in terms of distribution network, they have an extensive network by different channels, segments, in order to create a close relationship with the clients by having the products available at all times in every place they need them. In terms of their values, the main values are autonomy with strategic coherence, good corporate governance, responsible corporate citizenship, world-class competitiveness, development of our people, ethics, participation and collaborative management, respect, and food safety. In terms of the importance of the internationalization management, here management plays a really important role since it supports the expansion process in which they acquire companies and make organic growth not only in Colombia but also in the world, and everything they do it has to be with integrity and respect, also always being a good team member. And the main areas of practice are corporate law, mergers and acquisitions, commercial law, contracts, procedural law, intellectual property, and regulatory issues in the food industry. In terms of the internationalization models, the company has three main models. The first one is the Uppsala model because the company is a multilateral, so it expands and internationalizes within similar countries, which in this case are Latin countries. And the multi-stage model because the company is not at the same stage of internationalization in every country in which it's present. So, for example, there are countries that were first internationalized, and there are countries that are new, in which the company is new in that market. And the adaptive choice, this model is because they are based on strategic decisions. So, for example, exporting, they first began exporting, then making alliances, and finally with organic growth. This is the internationalization model taken from the website of the company. The first one is a vision, which explains that they have long-term objectives and autonomy and diversification. the aiming diversification, the international strategies uh, that are creation of brand, acquisitions, productive platforms, and international distribution. Um, Developing their own model with consistency, with persistence, with humility and learning attitude, with suitable teams, human quality, and basic competencies. Also, like taking into account the skills that everyone in their team has. These are the phases of the internationalization process of the company. So, first, there are the exports. Uh, Second are the partnerships. Third are their own distribution, and lastly, the organic growth, in which they create value creation. For example, in exports, they just create like a profit. Then in partnership, temporary alliances, they got knowledge of the markets. These are like the first steps to that lead them to their own contribution, and they began to create cultures, knowledge of consumers, brand development in the market, and then at the end they began like not only value creation but value networks and acquisitions of the strategic region. In terms of entry modes, there are exports. The company began with exports, but nowadays it doesn't use them a lot because of the cost and because they have a lot of organic growth in other countries. In terms of alliances or joint ventures, the company search for companies that have a really good distribution and sales capacity and well managed and competent human talent, since they will have to work together for a long or short term, it doesn't matter, but they have to promote their values of the company in everything they do. In terms of acquisitions, the company has done 18 acquisitions during the last 14 years, and they always search for positioned brands that have potential. In terms of organic growth, 15 countries are done with production and or distribution plans within emerging countries. In terms of ethical issues, they use measure the continuous performance and improvement of government bodies of the organization. They maintain an active operation of the ethics, transparency, and they have something interesting is that they have a committee for conflict of interest. They develop and implement a policy to negotiate shares. They ensure the prevention and control of money laundering and the financing of terrorism. And they establish a mechanism for reporting issues related to ethics and conduct. In fact, they have a line, like an emergency line for calling to if they see an unethical behavior in the company. And in terms of sustainable development, the group of Nutresa um, is very committed to contribute to the development of the economic model that goes hand in hand with social development, generating benefits for all of its stakeholders and equilibrium of the environment. In conclusion, the company has made competitive markets, has gone through competitive markets thanks to their strategy, and they have initially they began the internationalization based on alliances and the creation of marketing companies. Then they search for target companies that established position brands with potential distribution, sales capacity, well managed, and human talent. And finally, Nutresa decided to go for an organic growth, but not forgetting the alliances and acquisitions. Nutresa is a great example not only for other Latin American companies, but for all of the negotiators, that because they demonstrate that it is possible to meet ambitious objectives as long as they are planned, as long as they are always keeping in mind their goals and measuring and also understanding others from the cooperation and humility.